Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Citizen Development Live. I'm your host, Neil Miller. Today with us, we have Manju Shanmugam. He is a Fiscal Systems Manager at a large nonprofit in New York. Manju, it's great to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I'm super excited about this show because, folks, we have a real live citizen developer with us today, and he's going to share with us a lot more about how he got into it, what he's doing. It's really exciting to hear from our perspective. But first, Manju, just tell us a little bit about your background, how you are you a developer, where to come from? So let me just start with that question. How much development have you done in your life in terms of coding?
Zero development. So as you can see, I'm taking baby steps in terms of learning how to code. But yeah, I've come a long way since where I started because I used to be an accountant for 5 years. That was years ago. And then transitioned my career into fiscal systems analyst. Currently working at a greater nonprofit organization in New York. We've been doing exciting stuff with the new KissFlow app that we recently acquired. So excited to talk about it.
Awesome. So your background's in finances, you work with big systems, ERP systems, all sorts of things. Take us back a few years, probably like a lot of companies, probably around the pandemic time frame. What was the reason why you kind of looked around and realized you needed a big change in your organization?
Yeah. So one of the biggest changes during the pandemic was introducing remote working for a lot of our employees who have never been remote in their life. So our team has always come into the office. We got printed everything out, mailed everything out, an inner office memo. So it was all very manually driven process. And once we got into the pandemic world, we realized we had to quickly adapt to the digital world. And a lot of the members were having issues with copying items and saving as PDF, simple as that, and tracking items in real time. So we needed to find a solution that can bridge the gap between wondering what happens to something I sent on email versus where is it now, and the approval process. Many of our manual approval process involved getting the document mailed out directly to the various approvers at locations not in the same office. So what should take only a couple of days took about 2 to 3 weeks at this point, if you can imagine. Wow. So we needed some sort of a magic solution to circumvent that issue at this point. And I was put in task for locating a software or some sort of solution for this. And I sort of stumbled upon KissFlow randomly during one of my searches for softwares, and did a little more digging into it. I was able to get some demos from the KissFlow team who were really quickly receptive to all the issues that we had and were able to answer a lot of the questions. So, I had to introduce the software to the greater team and the finance team and let them know, hey, here's a solution that can solve a lot of the issues that we're having right now, and probably even more that we don't see right now. Right. And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. And specifically, you were doing a lot of ERP customizations, right? You were implementing a new system and trying to get stuff out of it that you weren't able to get, but the new one even wasn't able to give that to you. Can you explain that more?
Sure, absolutely. So we were going with a software called Intact, which is specifically at this point was for nonprofit organizations. And we were in the process of integrating our currently existing in-house software to a cloud-based software called Intact. We wanted a customized part of a modular in Intact for that to do the workflow for us, similar to what we're expected from KissFlow. During our testing process, that process failed, the customization part failed, and the cost was driving up a lot of the implementation with that ERP system. So we needed to find some exterior software that can provide that solution for us, and with minimal admin support, sort of for the setup process and everything. And that's what KissFlow was for us. It provides much more flexibility in terms of creating forms on the fly, able to be managed by admin team without the need for development skills or even coding skills or any of that nature. So a lot of the stuff that we do with KissFlow does not involve coding at all, which is great. So, which is what we want to provide to our team.
Typically, you would probably want to go to the IT team first. So, I mean, you have a big organization. Tell us a little bit about that IT team. Are they the type of people? I know they're all very helpful, nice people, but
Mhm.
especially in terms of like just prioritization and trying to figure this out. Tell us about the size of the team and relationship to the whole organization, what they're doing, and why they weren't able to really help you directly.
Yeah, absolutely. Our IT team was mainly involved in the infrastructure and remote desktop support. It's sort of like the ticketing system where they're just helping you with the Windows logins, providing you with equipment for remote work. If you're not able to log into your Windows, they'll reset your password, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
But they were not specifically involved in finding solutions, for a finance team. And I sort of had the role of bridging the gap between what the finance team needs and what the tech side can provide. And given my background in accounting and as also a ERP manager for my previous positions, I was able to provide that gap that the team needs in order to find a solution. So um, that that's pretty much why I was hired, to provide that solution. So just doing my job here, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. I don't know how well you realize like you're that just the archetype for what we call citizen development. Someone who has like deep domain knowledge. Like you know the financial systems really well, you know ERP systems really well, but you also have this technical side, this ability to see in things in terms of systems and to organize things, which is a rare quality to have. So I also want you to talk about like the people you're working with who maybe don't have a lot. They may have the domain experience, but not the technical experience. So what was it like for you to know your peers, know your colleagues, other people you're working with, and recognize that, hey, I got to build something that not only works but is very simple to use.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think you hit the most important aspect of my search for software when I'm, tasked with this order of bridging the gap. So a lot of our staff have been with the organization 20 plus years, and as you can imagine, they're not as as computer savvy as everyone wants to be. So whenever we're looking for software, we need to keep in mind our audience, our users at the end of the day, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they're able to navigate the software at ease and without any issues, with minimal technical support at a constant basis. So we want a software that's advanced, but also not too advanced, where our users are constantly wondering, how do I do this? How do I move a
Right.
mouse? So, anytime I need to look for software, I'm immediately thinking, is this something that's possible for Joe Show at a random location that's a driver or just a simple person with a simple task that do not need to have technical skill in order to get the task completed. So Kissflow, in my opinion, provided that gap. It was advanced enough where we're able to accomplish a lot of the tasks in automation, but it was simple enough for usage at the end of the day for a day-to-day user to just simply log in and know where to go and click what they need to click and get the task completed.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the benefits you've been experiencing. You talked about these even paper forms that you were using and weeks to get approvals done. What's that experience been like from organization or just even a department level difference from having this expectation of, hey, I'm going to print out this form, it's going to take a long time, to you may be able to get it done in less than a day. So I don't know exactly what your situation is, but tell us what those benefits have been like.
Yeah, one of the top, benefits is real-time tracking of where the documents are,
Hmm.
whose queue is currently sitting at, whose task it is to complete that form to get that across the board. So, for example, if we have an invoice that needs to be paid, a program person can submit a payment request form and have that form approved by multiple approvers, and they'll be able to track and provide real-time update on where that form is, who's actually in charge of getting that approved at this moment, and when the check can be cut. All that information right up front. Currently, if it was a paper-driven, they send the form out. They have no idea where that form is, who's holding it, when the check is cut. They'll wait over a 2 to 3 weeks period to even email accounts payable team to ask, hey, is this form even got to you? But now they're able to see if the form is with an approver, and the approver and the requester are able to communicate with each other within KissFlow, ask questions, and provide that information, and cut that 2 week period to 2 days at this point.
Yeah.
So productivity has gone up high, and what it also allows the managers of each program to view is employees' productivity level. So
Mm.
they're able to see which employees actually actively going in and approving things on time, who's slacking, and this could drive performance review as well in the future. I could see that where
Yeah.
we're able to see real time on which employees are able to complete tasks which they were not able to see before. So
Yeah.
a lot of advantages and reporting. So we're able to obtain reports on various spending that we have done. Unlike before, the managers did not have any access to how much they spent whole year for any given program. Now we're able to pull out a report instantly from Kissflow to show, hey, this how much did I spend in November for this program, and what are the vendors, what are the key elements that who approved this. All that information is available right on tap. So that real-time tracking and detail data is key in the future of our organization.
Yeah. That's amazing. Tell us a little bit more about the actual development process for you. I mean, you've been using Kissflow for a little while now. What were some of the things that were like super easy? I mean, in a no code platform like that, to like, I'm talking about like building forms, building
Yep.
workflows, generating reports, building integrations. Walk us through the things that were like very simple to learn at the start, the things that you thought were challenging at the start, but now seem pretty easy, and the things that you still lean on other people for support for.
Sure, absolutely. One of the things that I found Kissflow to be ease of use is the navigation and also the admin setup process. Anytime we're creating a new form, we can create forms on the fly with adding, a field that's required, multiple fields, whether it's a drop-down field, whether it's a single select option. We can create any number of options on the fly in a very quick manner that I thought that was really helpful from an admin perspective.
Yeah.
Um, Previously, a lot of the softwares that we looked at did not have the capabilities of being able to just go in there, create a simple form out of scratch. And one of the cool things that Kissflow does is it has over 50 templates ready available already, which is pretty cool. If you go into the Explorer, you're able to select predetermined forms that are already available. You can use that form to edit however you want. A lot of customization is very simple to use. You're able to select what type of field that you want, and you can actually include formulas in there. This could be simple Excel type of formulas. You don't need coding experience to create these formulas. It's just creating an if formula, lookup formula, very simple formulas. And these options, you do not need any developing skills or coding skills at all, and
Mm.
which I thought was key. And we didn't need to keep going to Kissflow for like, hey, how do I create this? How do I create this code? What do I need to do here? No,
Right.
absolutely not needed. Very simple. Adding users, providing access to them, uh, limiting user access, all that details are very key in terms of from an admin perspective. And I've been admin for many number of systems, and this is one of the top systems that I can certainly say it's very easy to use from maintenance and reviewing process.
Yeah. Speak about governance just for a little bit. It's a key term in citizen development. Is like, do you feel like you have a pretty tight control over what comes in and goes out of the system? Do you have other concerns from the IT department or others who are concerned about sensitive data coming in and out or connecting to outside systems? How do you handle those types of things?
Yeah, so right now we're in the process of including a single sign-on option for Kissflow, and one of the things that we're using is Microsoft Authenticator to maintain sort of like our security process and understanding if an employee leaves the organization, we don't currently get information notification from our HR team letting us know that they have left. So one of the ways we can track is through our Windows login, which the IT department immediately cuts off access the minute they leave the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to use the single sign-on option that they currently use to access Kissflow as well. So the advantage of that is immediately we don't have to constantly worry about if the user's in Kissflow or not. They can just lose their access if they're not in the company anymore. And the IT department is not involved heavily with the implementation of Kissflow at all. Their only contribution is simply just allowing us to have the single sign-on process connect to our Windows option. That's basically it. Uh, I pretty much control every user that come in and out of Kissflow at this point. My team basically has the admin rights, which is a team of 3 people. We basically control every aspect, including creating the form, who has access to the form, creating reports, pretty much from A to Z. We control everything.
Yeah, that's great. To close up, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how citizen development tends to build on itself. So you start off, you're kind of building something fairly simple, maybe at the start, or you get something even big in, and then you start to realize, oh, well, if we did that, we could probably do this too. So what are some examples you've seen in your work where that's happened?
Absolutely. So initially, we wanted to use Kissflow for approvals of payment requests or purchasing requests, and creating custom workflow process for that. And what we realized as we started implementing is that there are more purpose to this tool. So we expanded what we learned, what Kissflow can do, to other teams. For example, our accounting team now uses Kissflow to submit their journal entries. We've created custom fields that mimic basically debit and credit fields, and that's coming out of the system. And the person that's entering the journal entry basically has to fill out that information on a table and submit it for approval. Now we have set up rules within Kissflow to go to various team members for approvals based on the type of journal entry it is. And once that approval is complete, the journal entry team can now have a fully audited, approved item that they can upload into our MIP system, which is our accounting ERP system. In the future, what we're planning to do is have that journal entry process integrated with our cloud-based system through API calls. And then whenever a journal entry is approved in Kissflow, it goes directly into our ERP system for posting, which is going to cut the time even further. So we're excited about that. We have also introduced Kissflow to our HR team, a few other teams that have not been in the picture previously, but now are comfortable with using Kissflow for their team's workflow process that they have in place. So a lot of new teams, and they're all excited about Kissflow as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because it's when you have such a small IT team, everybody needs something, right? Everyone needs some kind of workflow, some kind of approval, some kind of application to help them out. But it's often just too much work for a small IT team to pull off on its own. So love to hear that other departments are seeing capabilities that's there. Do you know types of processes or types of applications they're looking to build, or what gets them excited too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to say I feel like I'm the IT team at this point, because they probably go to me for all these solutions more than our actual IT team. So, which I'm happy with. So, some of the other processes that we're excited about are like, we're in the process of helping our credit card team to understand the charges that they normally fill out information for credit card payments. Now we're trying to bring them into Kissflow, where if there's a charge that's being processed in credit card, we'll be able to add that to Kissflow and track all the expenses that are there for various programs. HR teams bringing in to create a sort of form that allows them to have a new hire request form. So if a program is requiring to hire a new person, we created a form within Kissflow for them to send out to the program managers to review and fill out the form for their team to be able to complete their search for a new employee that they want to hire.
Nice.
And facilities teams use it now to pay bills for related to Con Edison, your cable bill, all that information. They all go to Kissflow now. So these are teams that we didn't originally envision being in Kissflow, and now they find it so much more easier to track where their bill is, and the ease of payment process, and understanding how quickly Kissflow can support their team.
Yeah. This is great, Manju. This has been a wonderful conversation just to hear the kind of hope that most of us would have when we think about citizen development and what it's capable of. Just to close out, is there anything you'd like to say to others who are like you, who have some technical ability, but really the domain experience is their big thing? Like, how would you encourage them to take the next step in their journey?
The limitation is only yourself. So if you think you can't do something, you can't. But if you start thinking you can, and there's a lot of solutions out there, in this day and age, you can learn something for free on YouTube. Even going on ChatGPT, you can learn a lot more. So, everything's possible. It's within grasp. If you do not think you can't do it, you're absolutely wrong. So the solutions are there. You just have to take the extra step and go and look for it. And you do not need any coding skills at this point. I'm a great example of that. I have zero coding skills, and I've been able to implement this. And this software has been a great success within our organization. So there is a solution for every a problem out there. So if your team is having a problem, there's 100% there's a solution more than once. So you just got to think outside the box every time.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Manju, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it. And we hope to be in touch with you soon and hear more success stories later.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me again.